All right, I'll start over. I'm Tom Westcott with Leads. We are the oldest insurance lead company in the country. We've been generating leads for over 30 years, and we specialize in direct mail marketing as opposed to internet generated leads or call center. Our focus has always been on direct mail. And within that spectrum, our most popular lead and the one that started us is the mortgage protection life insurance lead. And so that's one of two lead programs that Case wanted me to talk with everyone about today. And I'll start there. Basically, it's relatively simple. We get fresh mortgage data coming in all the time from all over the country from the county courthouses who release it into public record. And so the data is for people who have recently purchased a house or refinanced their home. And they make sense as, potential insurance clients because it's traditionally couples and families who are buying most of the houses. But also because in order to qualify to get that loan, they have to go through a process with that mortgage company. And so we can reasonably assume that these folks are employed, have decent credit, pay their bills on time, all the stuff you've got to prove to get a mortgage. They were able to make it through that. Doesn't mean they're wealthy or anything, but it suggests that perhaps they're not destitute. And they certainly have a new potential asset in terms of that home, that mortgage, which, and I don't have to tell you guys, this, if anything should happen to one of the breadwinners in the household, that asset becomes a liability real quick if they can't make the payments. So that's where our lead comes in. When you place an order, we do a mailing to people who've recently taken out a mortgage. They receive in the mail a packet that contains a letter, a reply card, and a postage paid return envelope. The message is very simple and short. It says you may qualify for an affordable mortgage protection program that will pay off your mortgage in the event that you or your spouse should die. And of course, most people we mail to, we don't hear from them. They're not interested, which is expected. But those who are interested have to go out of their way somewhat to get a pen and fill this all out with their phone numbers, date of birth, spouse's date of birth, tobacco usage, put it in the envelope, and take it out to their mailbox and get it back to us. So there's a motivation on their end. And then we receive the lead in the mail. The day we get it, we scan the lead and email it to you. So that lead's exclusive to you. You're the only one who has it. We're getting it to you as fast as we can. And then we have very good, effective calling scripts to back that up, to show you what to say when you call and that person answers the phone, or more often than not, what to say on a voicemail to get them to call you back. And if you're just diligent about following up on the leads and be a little patient with them, traditionally, the vast majority of agents who come in on this program have a good return on their investment. So starting out with the pricing that Case is showing you on the screen right now, this is talking about fresh mailings. Like it says, 1,000 pieces is $550. So let's say you called me from Missouri and you wanted to do a mailing. The question I'm going to ask you is, do you want to, is it important to you to mail specific cities or counties? Or like many agents, are you okay with virtual sales? In which case I can choose based on my current data situation in the state, where to mail where I think you might get the most leads. So that would be the conversation we would have. And you would decide that. If you said, no, I'm St. Louis, I only want local people, then I'll do that mailing for you. But I'm going to advise you that your return rate, the number of leads you're going to get back, is probably going to be around 1%, maybe less, maybe slightly more. So in other words, around 8 to 12 leads back total. And that's, even then, it's guesswork. It could be less than that. It could potentially be more, but probably not. So it'd be around a 1% return rate. And I would advise you, if we hit smaller counties in the state where there's less marketing going on, you have a lower competition factor, the odds are you're going to get more leads for your money, maybe twice as many leads for the same amount of money. The trade-off is you're not going to drive to see these people. This would be for virtual sales, which is a trend I see occurring in the industry anyway, moving forward in time. But so you would have the control over that option. I would just educate you based on my experience mailing your area, whatever that should be, what you might expect. The key thing on this is we don't guarantee a specific number of leads. So if you mail 1,000, our guarantee to you is you will get everything that comes back from that mailing. If someone sits on that card for 6 months and then suddenly fills it out and mails it in, as happens quite a bit, we'll still know that's your lead and we will get that to you. But we don't guarantee a specific number of leads. The other thing we guarantee is that that lead will be exclusively yours for at least 90 days. After 90 days on mortgage protection leads become available to agents of other companies as a second chance or an aged lead, which is something I'm going to talk about more in a minute. But then you'll notice a 2,000 piece mailing on cases, a price list here is discounted a little bit further. That's $1,000 for a 2,000 piece mailing. So that you're paying $500 per thousand when you do that. And if you're two agents in the same office and you want to go in half season, do that, that's fine. But you pay $1,000, we mail 2,000 pieces. Obviously that's probably going to double your return rate. And then larger mailings are pretty much at the exact same price point. So that another thing I'll mention that I think is important is there are no contracts required to work with us, no ongoing commitments. So if you want to just try 1,000 piece mailing, see if you like it. I'm not going to be running your card next month or anything like that. I'll follow up with you, see how you do, and find out if you want to continue mailing. Because I have a lot of customers who just call me randomly throughout the year and do mailings. And then I don't hear from them again for 3 months, and then they'll call back. And that's fine. Whatever works for you and your business, we'll work with you. Some agents mail 1,000 every 2 weeks or 2,000 every 2 weeks, whatever works for you. So those are our fresh mortgage protection leads. These do tend to have a pretty high close ratio in comparison to pretty much all other life leads. That's why mortgage leads are considered premium leads. They do tend to be more expensive because they're expensive to generate. The good news is on the back end, you tend to, I'm not going to say they're easy to work, but I used to be an appointment setter. I would call leads and set appointments for agents, and I'm quite aware that there are leads out there that are kind of nightmarish to work. So mortgage protection leads in comparison are a lot easier to get a hold of people. When you get a hold of them, if you're working fresh leads, they're not mad at you for calling because they actually remember having hand filled this out and mailed it in. And so that doesn't mean you're going to get the appointment or close them. You're certainly not going to close every one of them, but you also don't have a lot of people mad at you, which is a good thing. And you do tend to have a high contact rate and a relatively high appointment set ratio. I would say if you're hitting average numbers, you're probably setting 40% of the leads to appointment. And then, once, the lead gets you in contact with people and then the ball's in your court, and then it's kind of how good are you at what you do is going to determine the end results. But most agents see a pretty good return on their investment with these leads. So I see that Case has changed the screen to aged mortgage protection leads. Okay, so now these leads, like it says on the screen, we have 2 levels. Level 1 are 90 days to 9 months old. That's how old the lead is. A minimum order is 30 leads at $8 per lead. So these are leads that we have sold to, like, say, New York Life or some other company when they were new leads. Now they're have aged into our database. You can purchase them. And the more you buy, the cheaper they get. You can get 125 of the level 1 leads for $700. Or you can get 60 for $400. And you get these the same day you buy. If you buy them from me today, I'm going to email them today. We have a separate call script with these that is very effective. Again, with a voicemail script. Level 2 leads are 9 months to 21 months old. So those are $3 per lead. Really, the thing that's different between these two is just how old they are. But as you can see in the pricing, we personally believe that there is a difference in quality between the level 1 and the level 2. Some of my customers tell me they don't think there is, and others say there is. So I tend to believe that the older you get, the less effective they are, and that's reflected in the pricing. But 100 leads is $300. We price them so that you can get a volume of these so that you're effective and can turn a profit. If you buy 100 of the $3 leads and you spent $300, usually on your first sale, you've made your money back and everything after that is great. And a reasonable expectation on these, on the level 2 leads, you get 100 of them. I think you should be probably writing anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 policies. So you're not going to do crazy high numbers most of the time. That's why they're $3 a lead. But turning a good profit on them, I don't think is particularly hard. Again, as long as you're diligent. The level 1 leads are going to maybe be a little easier. You get 100 of those. I don't know, man. You're probably going to close 10 leads, and out of those 10 leads, you're going to, 4 of them, their spouse is going to buy a policy as well. So you're looking at 14 policies or so. And I might be going a little high, 10 out of 100. That would be, 10% close ratio. I might be a little bit high on the numbers there for the level 1 leads, but I'm not that far off. Have a lot of regular customers buy those from me every month, and it's a part of their marketing, and they do real well with it. And I'm talking, captive agents with companies who maybe aren't as competitive in their rates as you guys are. So if that tells you anything. But those are my level 1 and level 2 age leads. They are specifically mortgage protection. I don't have aged leads for the financial annuity lead, which I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about now. And I know maybe not all you guys are interested in annuity leads, so I won't take too long on this, but it's the same process of a mailing. 1,000 pieces, 2,000 pieces, same pricing, $550 or $1,000. But the people we're mailing to, it's a very different database. These are investors. They're people who have reported that they have an investment product like a CD, mutual fund, stock, 401k, something like that. They're in the age range of 62 to 72, and they're in the middle to higher income brackets. That's who we're mailing to. And then the mail piece we send talks about reducing or eliminating the taxes you're paying on Social Security and maximizing your retirement income. I've sent the mail pieces we send to Case. I don't know if they're part of this, his PowerPoint, but he can email this information to you in a single email for all the programs, so you can see what we're mailing, the various pricing, and think about what makes sense to you, and then reach out to me to place your lead order. But on the annuity lead, typical return in most markets is around 8 to 12 leads back. These are 100% exclusive to you for all time, hence that they're not sold later as aged leads, because it takes 3 months a lot of times to actually close a deal on an annuity. It's not a one and done like a life insurance policy often is. It takes a long time. So, you don't have to worry about me selling those to somebody else later down the line and then jumping in and taking your client. But anyways, I'll come up for air, see if anybody here has any questions for me.
Okay, guys, if any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask Tom. Otherwise, I have all the information I can forward to everyone after the webinar here.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, apparently there's some technology problems going on. You were talking about annuity leads, and I see on the screen aged mortgage protection leads. It might be on my end because I do have internet problems out here.
No, that's Case has just a couple items in the PowerPoint. He was just showing pricing. I'm talking about like right here where he's flipped it. There's the pricing for the mortgage and annuity mail drops. He's going to email you guys.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's going to send you an email, and attached to that email will be the mail pieces that we're using for both the mortgage leads and the annuity leads.
Okay, I never saw a screen on the annuity leads.
I don't think there was one. Yeah, I don't have.
Okay.
I should mention, by the way, guys, I'm working from home. I don't have a PowerPoint here to show you stuff. So Case has been good enough to put up some things to show you that do not include the mail pieces. Those will be coming to you via email. So I'm just talking about some different programs, and that maybe aren't in accordance with what's on the screen at that moment. I'm just going through the mortgage protection, annuity fresh mailings, and then the aged mortgage protection leads.
All right. Any other questions, guys? Okay, thank you, Tom. That is Tom from Lead Code Company, Lead Code Leads, and I will email more information to you guys. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Case. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, next up, we'll be talking about another lead program here. Let's see. Okay, Angel Kim, are you here? Just making sure you're here. I'll get to you in about 5 minutes, okay? So if you can get ready, that'd be great. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, I'm gonna see. Okay, just making sure you guys can hear me. Okay, next up is I'm gonna talk about final expense overflow leads. Okay, so we have some overflow leads. These leads are from, people that order, like their campaigns or their bulk orders, the mailing pieces, and those leads come in, but they're overflow. Okay, they're overflow. So those leads have never been sold before. And these leads, you can purchase those leads, you can pay per lead. So this program, you don't have to purchase like 1,000 or 2,000 mailing pieces. These are overflow leads where you can purchase on the individual lead. So I'm going to show you the pricing for this lead program. Let's see, final expense. The pricing is going to be different for different states and counties. So I'm going to show you guys Minnesota pricing. And we want to do all county. And again, these are direct mail leads. They're not internet leads. There are leads that people actually filled out the card and sent it back, but they're overflow leads. So we have not sold them yet. So in Minnesota, these are the counties right here. Fillmore, we have 10 available. Anoka, we have 170. Hennepin County, we have 396. And they are $17 per piece, okay? So it looks like we have a lot of overflow leads in Minnesota here. I'm gonna go back and check on one more state, and just to show you guys the price difference. Let's see, we can try California. Waiting for the count. There is a minimum of 20 leads per order for this type of overflow leads. Yep, it's taking a little bit longer here. Hang tight. It's taking longer than expected. To order these leads, you would have to have access to the system, the Lead Max system, to order those leads. And if you contact me, I'll let you know how to get access to this system. All right, let's go back here. Not sure what's going on with California. All right, so let's try Pennsylvania. What's going on? Let me try again. Usually it is not this slow. My internet is working fine. All right, let's try again. Okay, let's try Pennsylvania. We should have some overflow leads here. All right, let's try this. Hang tight, guys. We're gonna make this work. In the meantime, Angel, if you're here, can you let me know? I'm gonna try one more thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, let me refresh this page and try again. Let me log out completely and log back in. Okay, so it's giving me some internet issue here. So let me come back to this. And I think Angel Kim is here, and Angel Kim will be talking about their lead programs, which are telemarketing leads. Okay, so Angel, are you here? Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to pull up his slide.
Hello, Case.
Yes. All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yes, good to have you. Okay. All
How
right.
are you guys doing?
Do you have a PowerPoint or anything, or you want me to just show your website here?
Yeah, if you don't mind showing the website, we were preparing the PowerPoint, but I had calls after calls after calls, so I couldn't finish it on time.
Busy, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's been really, really busy.
Okay. All right. No problem. Okay, guys. So I'll come back to the overflow leads. You know, we pretty much have overflow leads in all 50 states, but the pricing goes from like $17 to about $34 or so. But okay,
Gotcha.
so I'm gonna turn the discussion to Angel Kim, and he is from VIP Marketing. They do lead generation for final expense. They do telemarketing. So Angel.
Yeah, so right now we're doing final expense and Medicare supplement leads through our call center. Our call center is located overseas, and they only do the work for our company and for Western marketing agents. And we'll love to do work for you guys as well. You probably, has anybody used telemarketing leads before? You guys have any
Yes, I'm
experience with
pretty sure
them?
pretty sure they did.
Okay. So the way that it works, we use our data is all scrap, TCPA compliance. Our data is by area codes and whole states. So if you guys can provide different area codes that we can do the calling, I go ahead and get the data and I give it to our call center and they start calling. We have 27 agents right now that only do calling for us. And what keep us apart from others is since they do the calling for us, I talk to them daily and I make sure that they talk very, very slowly and they let the clients talk and they listen and they explain that this is about final expense and it's for burial cost, and they talk about the different policies, the 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, and we make sure that people are interested on talking to an agent, and that's if they all answer yes, yes, yes. The last question that we say is, now we have our local agent, and of course we'll use the name that you provide. Our local agent Larry will be giving you a call a day or two. Would you have any interest in talking to them? And if they say yes, we ask him, would it be better to call them during the day, afternoon, or night? And whatever the answer, that will go into a Google spreadsheet. And we do all the recording, and that'll be part of the information that we provide. We suggest listening to all the recordings before you talk to the clients. That way you familiarize with them. And also we give you a key question like, what is your favorite color? What is your favorite hobby? And whatever the answer, that'll be part of the recording. That way, that'll be like your key question saying, hey, I know whenever you talk to my coworker earlier, you say your favorite color was blue. And they will say, oh yes, I remember talking to that person. And then that's how you go ahead and do it. Now, we do not ever resell our leads. These are freshly made just for you. Our data comes from all age leads, people that's filled up information, whether it's online or mailed in. And those are the numbers that we call. To make an order of about 20, 25 leads, we have to call anywhere from 400 to 600 numbers in the area code that you provide. So that's kind of how it works. The main difference between our telemarketing leads and Facebook or Google ad leads is that the people that we're talking in our telemarketing, they know that they're going to be talking to you just because of the question of, is it okay for a local agent to call? Now, whenever we do Google ads and Facebook ads, we do not resell those either, but it's just like buying a car. Like, people are looking at different sites, um, trying to find the best deal that you can find. If you're online, not only they see my specific ad, but they'll be seeing other people's ad. And once they click and fill up the information on other people's, we have no idea and we have no control on if they are reselling those to other agents. So a lot of times Facebook leads, you're gonna hear a lot of, oh, already talked to another agent. Oh, can you guys stop calling because everybody's calling me. Now from these telemarketing leads, you're not gonna get any of that. Do you guys have any questions for now?
Yeah, Angel, can you talk a little bit about your closing ratio for your leads?
Yes. So the closing ratio right now, for field sales, meaning you're gonna go see them face to face, we're seeing 35 to 40%, all the way to 45. I just talked right before I got on this Zoom call. I talked to one of our agents he's in Tucson, Arizona. I just sent him 40 leads. He had 27 appointments and he closed 21. So that's right a little over 50%. And those are leads that I provided on Monday. I had another agent in Florida. I gave him 20 leads and he closed 17. And I told him that was the best I ever seen. So that was last week. And of course, I have other agents that I send them 20 and they're closing 3, 4. I mean, it really depends on how you are.
Yeah, that
doing
was
this.
great.
So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's pretty good. That's a pretty high closing ratio. So that's awesome. You guys have any questions for Angel Kim? This is telemarketing leads. Okay, they do telemarketing leads. They also do live transfer, final expense. Can you talk a little bit about the live transfer?
Okay, so the live transfer we use the same method as doing the callback, but the only difference is that whenever we are talking to the client, if the order that you put in with us, it says live transfer, we say, actually, I have my agent right on the other line. Would you like me to transfer to them? And we'll dial you in, and then we'll get off the phone. And those go a little higher on price, but they're only qualified if you get to talk to them at least 120 seconds. So 2 minutes, you have to be on the phone. Now, if they hang up and they say, I don't want it or something like that before the 2 minutes, those do not count as a lead. That's mainly the difference. Now, live transfers, I suggest if you're working on by yourself, I really don't think it's a good way of doing, just because our agents are transferring 2, 3, 4 at a time. And if I only have one line to be calling, obviously you're gonna be losing a lot of the clients that need transfer right away.
Okay, all right.
And other things, I know that we talked about telemarketing leads, but other things that we do as a company, we're a full-size marketing. We do websites, landing pages where you can create your own leads. Google ads, like we talked a little about Google ads and Facebook ads as well, but we do that as well.
Okay. Any questions for Angel?
I do.
Okay.
Hey, Angel. Does your conversion vary between states? I know you brought up Arizona and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What about like states like Texas, California, Pennsylvania? You know, where population density is higher, and obviously you have a lot more agent per capita. Is the closing ratio lower in those states?
I mean, we do great in Texas, California, You said Pennsylvania. I have one agent working Pennsylvania right now, and they do really, really well. Once again, going back is it really doesn't matter how many agents there are there because we're not running internet leads. We're running more of an exclusive lead that is just generated for you. So, and we're not reselling. So these leads, whatever you purchase is just those leads. Other people are not going to be calling them. So it really doesn't matter how many agents there are in that area. I don't think if they are interested, it becomes your lead. If they're not, I mean, if they're not interested, it doesn't even go on your Google spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Like it's different. Our leads doesn't really matter if there's more agents or not.
Yeah, makes sense. My other question is that, so you're saying basically the advantage is that your data is superior than the competition. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So our data, it's so we have going back to the data, talking about the data itself. Okay, we have two different vendors that I get the data from. I have a data vendor that only does by area code and whole states, and I have another data vendor that does by city and counties. And I know that there's agents that really like to be really close if they're gonna be face to face. That's why they order by county. But I always try to push the ones that by area code. For some reason, the data uh, every time that our call center calls the area code data, the closing ratio is much higher. Please do not ask me why it is because I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's the closing ratio is much higher whenever we call by area codes.
Area code means zip codes, or because you
Area
mentioned
code, area codes is the
Phone
three
number.
numbers, the phone numbers.
Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we don't do by zip codes. We either do by area code, whole state, which is one of the vendors that I really like just because the closing ratio is much higher. The other vendor does by city and counties, and it's definitely not as good.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions? And Case, you have my phone number, right? If there's any agents that would like to learn
Yes,
more,
I do. Yes, I do. I will send your contact information and all the information to the agent. So if you need more information about telemarketing lead programs from VIP Marketing Source, let me know, guys. Okay, email me, shoot me an email, and I can send you all the information. So thank you very much, Angel.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
Yep, thank you. You too. Thanks. All right, guys, we have a couple more programs here. Just a second. Trying to let this guy into the webinar. Okay, guys, up next, we're going to be talking about the IUL right now. IUL and annuity lead. So hang on tight. Hi, Marco. Hey, Nathan. Can you hear me? Okay, let me see.
Try it now.
All right, can
You
you guys
guys-
hear me, Nathan?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, do you have a PowerPoint or anything to share, or you're just going to be talking about the programs?
Oh, just talking. We didn't, I mean, we weren't at, we could have prepared a one for you that you asked for it, but that's not something we typically do for anybody really.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I have your
There's nothing to
information.
really show in PowerPoint other than metrics, you know?
Yep. All right. Okay. So let me put this back to you. Okay. So, okay, guys, I have here Marcos and Nathan from Much More Clients. They're going to be talking about their mortgage term leads as well as their index universal life leads and annuity leads. And I believe they generate their leads from Facebook. So this is going to be a little different from what we discussed earlier. So with no further ado, Nathan, Marco, go ahead, take it from here.
All right, how you guys doing today? Everybody here, have you have any problems hearing what we're saying or any of the voice stuff, just let me know. We'll turn up the mic. Or if it's too loud, we can turn it down. Just let me know. But as far as, you guys have any direct questions that I can answer just directly so I don't waste any time around things that don't matter to you guys so much? Is there any direct individual questions you guys want answered first and foremost?
Yes, can you talk about your lead process and conversion rates as well as pricing and your experience in the lead generation business?
Sure. So, well, as far as experience goes, we have like 13 years, 10 years professionally in the lead experience. That's as long as we have. Obviously, digital leads are super new. Like probably only about last 6 years old. Invasive digital leads have been around. So there's not many people that are super mastered in this field. That way, it's really easy to actually lead in this field. As of right now, I think in about 6 to 8 more years, there'll be a lot more companies that look like us, resemble us, act like us, talk like us, walk like us. But we're pretty invasive right now and quite the trailblazers in digital marketing today. Facebook leads, as you guys know, if you guys have heard anything about them, those aren't brand new. Just how they're farmed out by us, how we determine ours. We don't have any competition in the field as of right now. Nobody does them like we do. And that's not me saying that with an agenda base, like just statistically, nobody does them with I guess these singled out methods that we do. So I can get into that for you guys and tell you the metrics and what we're getting, our residual ratings we have right now, the ROIs on our leads, and what you guys can expect from them, especially to do with our appointment setting as well. So all of our leads, there's nothing specific about each individual lead. Each lead that we do is generally the same, how we conduct our leads. The only thing is difference is obviously the advertisement for each lead, obviously, because someone that's looking for an annuity is not looking for mortgage protection all the time. And definitely someone doing mortgage protection or an annuity is not looking for final expense. So the only thing that really changes there is the copywriting in which we use for our adverbs. And that lies where most of our important parts are and working metrics that make us super big. Have you guys ever done any online advertising at all ever before, or done any Facebook leads or any leads through digital marketing ever?
Yes, I believe some of us did. Yes.
Okay. Well, with some of that, there's problems that come with those things. And the reason the problems happen with those is I can tell you a handful of things that there's problems with. Some of them are going to be where they call the Facebook lead and the person says, I don't have a Facebook, I didn't sign up. All those are things that we don't deal with as a company because we had those problems initially, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, we had those initial problems like everybody else. Companies today have still not figured out how to beat that. What they typically tell agents, and I'm sure you've heard this before in any lead marketing field, is just buy another batch. They get better. They're not always like that. They get better as time goes on. We'll give you a couple extra, yada, yada, yada. That's the typical line they say because they don't know how to increase quality of leads. So being an agent myself, I was licensed in 2007. I'm still licensed today. I carry it in multiple states. I was in the field multiple times. I even jumped back in the field a couple of years ago, even year before last. No, beginning of last year, one last final time. And this is just so you guys understand the scope of this, being a multimillionaire, jumping in the field, just to make sure the quality of our leads were still as good as we say we are. So I took our own leads as a test and ran them for 6 weeks. And still they were the best leads I've ever encountered. Had no problems at all. I went 3.5 weeks without even missing one at all. I mean, that's not a typical, I guess, scenario. And all those vary depending on the closer and the skill set, obviously. But how we generate our leads, here's the biggest difference for us. How we generate our leads is night and day difference from everybody else. And this is the biggest point, what makes us so big. We have 2 different styles of leads, but I'm going to tell you how we get the ones that are generally sold. How we generate them from scratch is we have a lot of contracts with companies and agreements with companies that if we give them and don't increase our standard rate for our leads, which every company has a little bit different rate, but they're pretty consensus of what we charge per lead. If we promise not to raise the price of our leads, what they give in return is information. So what we do is we take data that they give us, which is like the amount of people they've sold and who they've sold, the data of the people they've sold. And we take that data and we don't market that those people again because they've already been sold. What we do is take that person's data and collect their online information, which is a lot of data points. A data point is like your first name is a data point, phone number is a data point. So we collect as much data points as we can, 10 guaranteed for sure. And what we do with that information is find out what a perfect buyer looks like in each one of those genres. So if it's annuities, we collect all the data points and all the people that have bought in the last quarter of annuities. So I'll just take annuities for example, but just to be clear, we generate all of our leads the exact same way or with the same order, I guess you could say. So we take all the information and we put that in a software that we've created. Nobody else has this, you can't buy it. And what it does is it tells us commonalities. It tells us what all those buyers have in common, the top 10 things they have in common. Anything more than that becomes more anomalistic. So we want the main things they have in common so we can see exactly what an annuity buyer looks like. The reason that's important is because we will use those metrics to create what we call a lookalike audience. So when we find tens of thousands of buyers for annuities, what exactly look like, the top 10 things that they all have in common. Now, when I go, let's just say, in your area and you say, hey, look, I want annuity leads in these 3 cities. I know to exactly look for nationwide consensusly who the exact buyer is going to look like in those fields based on their digital data. Now, this is data they don't know that's out there. It is legal data. There's nothing wrong with it. And we farm this data through, like I said, through our software that we create. And once we find the data that looks like it, when you want these in your area, we say, look and find an audience that looks just like these buyers in your city, in your county, in your state, regardless of where you ask us. We can geofence anything. I could geofence a house. I mean, we're very powerful as a company. So what we do is we farm that exact buying lookalike buyer in those areas. Now, what that does is what we're doing is we're handpicking our audience first instead of blanket marketing, which is every company in the world other than us does blanket marketing. They just advertise to everybody out there. And the reason that's a downside for us is you're getting everybody. You're getting the good, the bad, the ugly. You're not just getting the buyers. What we are interested in is just giving you as many buyers as we can, increasing your ROI and your closing percentage. In order to do that, I just got to give you a better quality metric of the person that you're looking at and talking to. Essentially, what that breaks down to is like, if you have a product that's really, really good, which all you guys do, you have to show it to someone that's looking for that product, or else you'll not, no matter how good it is, you're not going to be able to sell it. So if I had a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, let's say a $500,000 car, and if I'm selling it at 75% off, if I'm running around town, say I'm selling it for $100,000, it's still difficult to sell that car, regardless of it being 75% off, because I'm not talking to the audience that's looking for that car. Now, if I walk into a room of only 5 people and they're all looking for a Rolls Royce and credit qualified to buy one, and I'm 75% off, I'm going to sell it immediately. So for sure, I'm going to sell it before I walk out of that room. So that's all we're doing. We're creating the most optimal room of people for you to sell to that gives you the highest chance to close the deal. We know this information from multiple things. We don't just collect their information off of Facebook. We collect it off of Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube, all kinds of digital assets that we use. to collect data. So if you're on, let's just say you're on Google and you're searching, I'm collecting, you ever seen where it says like, click here to accept cookies? Whether you accept that or not, they're collecting your data. If you go to a website like such as Walmart, on the left-hand side in their description, we'll see it's called privacy policy. Just by having that on their page means they can collect your information without you giving consent. So because by going to their house, they're allowed to pull your data in. So it's kind of like voice recording as well. If you call into my dealership, I can collect both of our voices and record them both and subpoena them both. If I call you, I can only record my side. So that's pretty much the way that works, in case you guys don't understand. A lot of marketers don't explain these things to you. Actually, I've never heard it in 13 years, a marketer explain these things. Most don't even understand them. So that's how we do it. And so we're creating the best audience for you, handpicking the audience. Then once we get all this handpicked audience, to give you an example, how powerful that method is that we do. In Dallas, we got a scope of Dallas. It was like Dallas and outside of Dallas. There's quite a few cities in the Dallas area we were given, including Dallas. And it was an 800,000 populous range of people that we were allowed to advertise to for a client. By the time that we sifted through them and applied our software to it, there was only 22,000 that were eligible to buy, that were even eligible to buy or are interested in an annuity. That means there's roughly 780,000 bad leads or potential bad leads that a blanket marketer, which is everybody else, is going to sell to you that you're going to have to fight for instead of get more of a lay down status. And not only are you going to fight for them, you're going to sit there for the same length of time and end up selling half the quality lead. You're going to sell an annuity for a lot less, or a mortgage protection for a lot less, or even if you're doing final expense for that matter, for a lot less. You're going to fight for a lower policy. So we're just trying to create a raise in that. Now, that's the general lead that we sell, and that's what makes us so popular. We've grown over 800% just last year alone, 832% to be exact. We've expanded extremely far. We have offices all over the United States. We have one in Chicagoland, Southwest Chicago. We have one here in Ocala, Florida, which is where I reside right now. We have one in Las Vegas area, and we're outside of Las Vegas. And we also have one in Dallas, Texas. So now these are people, obviously clients don't receive these offices, but we have them so we can build hubs of people that call these people that are doing follow-ups, people that call people like you guys, in-house representatives. And also we have appointment setters. So we know the metrics of everything. I can even tell you what the metrics are, is how often we can set appointments on our leads. And now that's important, because when you're talking about closing appointments or how good are your leads, I can actually tell you from our appointment setters, which are non-agenda based, they're trained by us on how we handle these and how we're able to get them. And I'll share that with you guys as well. If you guys decide to purchase with us, or even if you don't, I have no problem giving that information on how to set the appointment. Now, I'm just not saying the verbiage, but just the pattern that works statistically stronger than everybody else's pattern in the market. We have an 82% appointment ratio in the first 5 minutes. So, and I can tell you the sequence that we use to achieve that as well. So that's the standard lead that we sell. And our standard leads are better than the most premium leads that are out there. Now, what we also sell, and not everybody qualifies for these. Actually, what we typically do is we talk to agents and we ask you guys questions in the beginning to even find out and pre-qualify you before we even share information with you. But if you're interested in hearing a baseline level of what that is, those are a top tier, like platinum style lead. And those leads are literally for pros in the field. They're very costly, but the ROI on those is the highest in the United States right now. And there's a multiple ways that we do that, but let me finish how we generate our main leads, and I'll get to those. But I want you to know that we do generate two styles of leads. So once we generate those, and we with the standard leads, and we sift out all the garbage, and now we have our general audience now that is searching for annuities. If they're even on Google and they type up, what's annuity like? How much are annuities? How much do I have to have for annuities? What do annuities do? Anything like that is criteria showing us that you're of general interest in an annuity. So you're actively looking. More so, we're also finding out your digital metrics to find out if your digital data lines up with someone that can afford it. And that could be, those metrics are a lot of things. It could be if you're in the top 10% of the income earners in that area. If you're married, if you're a homeowner, there's a million things that we're looking for but they all have to match within a 1% variance. If it gets outside of even 1%, you no longer meet the criteria to be considered even a general lead. So we're that tight on our budget. Now, so once we've created this audience, then we hit you with a direct ad. And now here's the best part. If you've ever done blanket marketing or any digital marketing for that matter, they do really hokey advertisements to the point where you call them, they lie. They act like they didn't sign nothing up. They never filled out your form. They even think that maybe the state's paying for it. They think it's some sort of grant. They're not even sure what you're doing. They end up saying they don't have any money. They thought it was free. I've seen all kinds of stuff that happens. We don't do any of those hokey marketing. The reason, again, that we don't have to, we're the only company that doesn't, we're so much different than the rest, is because we've already handpicked our audience. If you're directly looking for a Rolls Royce, you have the money for a Rolls Royce, you have the credit for a Rolls Royce, I don't got to pull you in by anything else, saying we're giving free hot dogs away this weekend. I can literally tell you we have the best Rolls Royces at the cheapest price today. And that's all it's going to take. I can be direct with you. And that's, again, what just adds to our character as a company and what makes us just that much stronger. We are direct in our advertisement. So much so, we use the word annuity. We tell them it's what it is in their area. And if they're wanting to see if they even qualify to purchase into an annuity, to click here and enter more information of theirs to find out if an agent sees that they're qualified, and they will reach out to you if you are. I mean, we're all the way, we're taking them through the steps, being extremely invasive. Now, we collect 10 points of data from them. Again, just as a reminder, a point of data is first name is a point of data. Last name is a point of data. Address is a point of data. We collect 10 guaranteed. Average in the United States is 3 to 4. We collect 10. We also send an additional form out trying to collect an additional 12. So you may get up to, not guaranteed 10, but may get up to 22 points of data from this client. And the reason we even try to do that is we want you to have as much ammunition before you get on that phone as possible. So you know who you're dealing with to give you the upper advantage in this debate. So that's how we generate leads in a whole. As far as our platinum leads, we go above and beyond even that. Like, our cost for doing those leads is so invasive. We can be upfront with what it costs for us to break down those leads. They're so expensive for us to produce, but it far outweighs the profit margins in which you'll collect. So those, as far as the general leads, as far as pricing goes, general leads pricing right now is $400. It's $399 and you get 10. And that's for annuities, that's IULs. They're all the same price as of right now. Now, to bump up, if you want to go to the platinum leads, now those aren't guaranteed, the $399s right now, because we are always trying to increase the quality of the lead. So we're never going to go up to make more profit, only going to raise price to increase quality. I give you my word as a CEO on that. I don't care about making more money. We're making more than we could spend as a company as it is. All we want to do now is raise the metric on the quality of the lead. I literally want to be the Walmart for leads in the United States. When you think of leads, I want you to think of much more clients. We have another sister branch called Major Conversion. It's super secretive. We only have maybe like 50 agents in it, and we have to qualify them to even be allowed to have access to it. So, and Major Conversion is also my company as well. Those are the top tier. If you're a platinum buyer, you're spending over, between $2,500 and $3,000 a month in leads. You've been in the agency for a long time. You're extremely experienced. You're at the cutting edge of being the best you've ever been. That's the only even agent that would even qualify to even talk about platinum leads with us. And in that way, we're trying to keep it secretive. I don't want to waste your time as an agent and explain to you things you can't afford. But if you are a top tier agent, if you are in that elite class, you've done this long enough that you are one of the best in the field, there is nothing better than the platinum leads that we provide. I don't care which provider you go with, not agenda based, you can take me out of it. If I sold the company to something tomorrow, I would back that claim up still. And the reason it is because how much work we have to do to generate those leads is ridiculous. We go through, we lose so many potential clients by just digging and being ultra aggressive and invasive. I want to know income. Well, we even take them and redirect them to ads and videos that explain to them the policies in which we do and how it can benefit them. Like, we go through huge hoops that you have really got to be a buyer to even take the time to go into those videos and watch them. So by the time they do all this footwork on their behalf, they are they're almost in the bag at that point. So it takes a lot of money to do that. I never have a problem being transparent as far as what it does cost us to produce these things. But those general leads for us can cost us from $800 to $1,000, or I'm sorry, $800 to $100. I'm sorry, $80 to $100 per lead. Just on the cost side on those. So it can cost more than that. It can cost us $300 per lead to produce those. The metrics are so far, depending on what you want to do. The platinum leads can be in in any field, mortgage protection, IUL, final expense, and annuities. Annuity platinum leads are through the roof on cost. But I mean, I can give you, the agents that we had one last week. Like I said, we only have about 50, just shy of 50, 48. And we've had these leads. We don't advertise for these. They're hand selected by us, the people that have access to them. So I don't care how much money you have or what you do. If I don't think you're going to be good enough to be in them and treat them well and be a good seller for them, I don't want to burn them up, because there's agents out there that I can have, residual agents of mine. I'm more interested in making you a return customer, not just for clout, if that makes any sense. I don't want to sell this to you just so you can say you bought them. These are really, really high-end leads, and I only want the top tier agents to have access to them. So with that being said, those are about $3,500. And that's for, how many leads come with that?
Depends on the package, but for the annuities and IUL series, typically it's 30 guaranteed with the
Right.
potential for spillover.
Right. So I want those are, I mean, those are the closest leads that I would put. I'd almost stake my spot in the company on return. Like they're that strong that if you can't sell them, it's literally you just laid down and didn't do anything. Like they've already been probed beyond belief. I mean, and the reason we've been designed those, and this is the truth behind it, is for the last, I don't know, 8 years that I've been cognitive to annuity leads, companies have been overcharging from like $225 is about the national average for an annuity lead, all the way up to, Annuity Geniuses as a company they work directly with that does $500 a lead. And their backside, which means what they're actually generating them for, is pennies on the dollar. And I almost mean that literally. So when I see all that ability to spend to make the quality better, and they do that because nobody else understands the market yet. So they just take advantage of it because you have nowhere else to go. So we're the first company that creates an outlet for you to say, look, man, my money is worth something. Being an agent myself, I don't know of another marketer that's an agent. I was an agent, so I understand being out in the field. I understand in the first couple of years I got into being an agent, almost not be able to survive because the leads were so expensive. I remember thinking like, I got licensed, like, all right, now you got to buy leads. I didn't even know I had to buy leads. I thought, what kind of company do you work for? I get to actually spend money in. Like, this is crazy. Is this like an MLM or something? Like, I was so confused. So it forced me, though, to become who I am today. It forced me to generate my own leads. Fortunately, at the time, I had a small online company that was doing pretty good, and I was doing my own marketing, very barbaric looking back, but it was better than anybody else, and that's what I did. I started selling to agents, and that's where I'm at today. So, there's a huge, long story, but that's the expedition to it. And I can just tell you, I can assure you that I empathize greater with the agent than I do the agency by a long shot, because I was 2 years as an agent. I'm still an agent today. So I empathize greatly with what you guys go through. I know that your money that you guys spend is literally like sometimes all you have. And it doesn't matter what financial position I'm in, that like bothers me. So I want to help you build these things up. And the reason that's important to me is I want to build a legacy inside of your agency. So when there's like, such as you guys that have a multitude of agents on the line, multitude of people that want to make a ton of freaking money, that want to build out their downline, that want to build out their own agency, this is what you've been looking for. I can assure you of that. This is what you've been looking for. The only way, you guys, that you will not be able to make an ROI and a turnover on our leads, the only way this will happen, I ran them myself, is if you're brand new. And even with brand new ones, there's going to be laydowns. There's going to be what, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10 appointments. That's going to have the checkbook out. Just tell me what we're supposed to write, right? So if you can't sell them, then you're literally just not going to them. You're not making the calls, or you're not good at making appointments, which I can correct that. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much the scope of what we do, in a vanilla sort of way, without getting into massive backside and details with verbiage you guys may or may not understand. If there's any general questions, go ahead and fire them off. So I'm willing to answer anything you guys have.
Okay, that was awesome. That was great, Nathan. You guys
Thanks.
have any questions for Nathan? I know that we're about 12 minutes past 4, but um, otherwise, I'm also recording this. I will forward to everyone. And remember, guys, to get the special pricing of $40 per lead that Nathan mentioned, you got to be Next Vision agents. Okay, you come through us, you get that special pricing. Okay, I know that the pricing on the website is listed for a little bit more than that, but to get that special pricing, you got to come through Next Vision for that. Okay.
Yeah, it's $60 a piece right now online, so you're saving literally like a third. But we're gonna increase that again. We're gonna just continue to increase it. We don't care about being. Just to be clear, guys, I want to give you guys some advice from a guy that's. I mean, I'm gonna look. Let me tell you something right off the bat. I became a seven-figure earner in my late 20s, and I would love to spend the next couple of years. Last year, I spent a lot of time touring and helping other agents become wealthy. I would love to see all you guys that are on here today become 7, 8, beat me. Beat what I've done. But if I can give you any advice right now, that's consensus across the board, regardless if you do business with us or not, is that we do not sacrifice the cost of our leads to earn your business. So we're not out here to be the cheapest in the world. We're really not. We don't want to be the cheapest out there. That's not what we want to be known for. That's what Big Lots is for. That's what the dollar store is for. But you all know when you go to the dollar store, do you think you get the best product, or do you guys think you guys just get a good deal? Obviously, you just get a good deal. So we don't want to create just a great deal, because at the end of the day, you guys can't take your deal and cash it at the bank, right? The bank doesn't care how good of a deal you got on your leads when they're wanting you to pay your mortgage or pay your car payment. You gotta have a paycheck in that bank. And that's what we want to make for you. In order to do that, you gotta create some good quality leads, but big enough and good enough leads where when you guys get these leads, if you take a chance with us, I promise you guys, not only will you not regret it, you're going to see the largest return you've ever seen in your career, especially for you seasoned veterans that have been here for a minute and are really good in your field. You guys are going to see the best quality and turnover for your money that you've ever spent.
All right. Thank you very much, Nathan and Carver. Thank you very much. That was awesome. So guys, quality IUL annuity leads, for the best deal is from much more clients. Okay. So thank you very much, Nathan and Carver. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick question before you guys leave. So I see there's 3, right? Final expense mortgage protection as well as annuity leads, right?
Yes.
Can you touch again on the pricing? Because I think I've only heard annuity.
Right. So annuity and IULs, mortgage protection, they're all going to set the exact same rate. They're all going to be at $39 a lead, right? As of right now, at $399. The package amount is $399, regardless of which one you buy. Final expense right now, they just got raised up a little bit. What are they at right now?
I think they're at $22 per.
Yeah, $22 a lead on those. I know those are going to jump next week to 29, and that's the deal. Will be 29 still. Again, we're not raising them to get more money. We're raising them because we're increasing the quality. Every time we get feedback from you guys agents, I don't care about being the cheapest in the field. I want you to get the most money in your pocket, because without you guys being wealthy, I don't become wealthy. Does that make sense? I want you guys to be rich.
I've been doing Facebook leads myself for 2 years now, so I just interested. Yeah, I was just interested in what you're saying, because I do the Google search tools and all that to track the MAC data and all that, to trying to get a hold of the client. So yeah, I can speak your language as well. So
where do you find yourself suffering with your leads right now? Maybe I can give you some tips right now. Where do you find yourself having a problem with setting appointments? Are you not setting, enough appointments with the leads you're getting? What's the issues you're having right now?
Really conversion. I mean, I can get leads. I just don't really hit the numbers, right? Can I get 5 good leads a week? Yes. Can I get 10? No.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Are you generating yourself? Or are you paying
Yes.
like a white? Okay. So what's your CPL right now? What's your cost per lead right now? Your cost?
My cost per lead is $26.
Okay. So that's extremely high for your cost. Okay. So, so let me ask you this. Who are you advertising to? Do you have a audience to advertise to, or are you just generally advertising to everybody that's out there?
I do. I started with the general audience, and then I started creating lookalike audiences, stuff like that.
How many people are you creating lookalike audiences with? Because Facebook requires that it's a 500 minimum to get like quality return on that.
Right. So after running for like 6 months, I created my first lookalike Audience, and there's probably 2,500 people, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you, let me think. So it's fine. You do $26 a lead, Lookalike Audience at 2,500, and you're doing, okay, out of 2,500, and you're getting your cost per leads at $26 a piece. That seems
Yeah.
extreme. What about this? What's your adverb look like?
What
Because
was-
that's
sorry?
humongous. That's going to be like 70 or 80%, plus your picture will be a big deal. What's your photograph look like, and what's your copywriting look like?
Photographs are usually very creative. I made it myself on the canvas. I use that software, so I try to use unique stuff. I don't use stock photos, like I don't buy it most of it. Well, if I do, I try to do like maybe put a map, so like a county, in your area, kind of niche to the area that I'll be targeting, and don't get me wrong, I can convert 70% of my leads. I could turn it into clients. It's just if I generate 5 leads a week and I sell 3 policies is still enough, right? So I have to supplement. So it's not a matter of the quality. I think I
This
get
is
the
final
quality.
expense we're talking about,
Final
right?
expense we're talking. More final expense. No
Okay.
annuity, no extra section. Okay.
Final expense, you should be able to generate between, if you want like a crappier lead, you should be able to produce them. Like if I wanted to produce quantity and just didn't care about quality, I could probably produce them for $2 to $4 a lead. That's real metrics. That's CPL, my costs. I'm telling you something that no marketer will ever friggin' share with you without you paying them. So I'm just telling you like free info
Right.
here. If I want to increase the quality, I'll probably double it each time. And I do that by just barriers of entry and increasing what I'm saying in my copywriting. Have you ever, let me ask you this. If you want just a quick shortcut to it, have you ever looked in a software that can see other companies advertising to see how they're doing?
I have a few pages, not softwares,
That'd be your next step.
I'll be honest. I pay $150 a month on ClickFunnels, Sapier's, and a bunch of other softwares, to like automate this as much as I can. I'm not 7 hours on my computer, so I have a lot of automation on right now. The thing is, I still have to buy other leads, like
Yeah.
it could be direct mail, could
Yeah.
be whatever it is out there. Even that's why I'm even in this goal, trying to branch out to the telemarketing or no telemarketing. But you seem like you could be a better fit for me because you are my world. I have not touched direct mail leads in a year now. Seriously.
They're fading away. So are emails. Emails are fading away as well. Emails are down to like a 3% open ratio and then a 0.001%, respond ratio. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So, but I can give you the actual metrics. We don't do things off of feelings, by the way. We do them off actual analytics that we get each quarter. So I can tell you this. And just to show you that, our heart's in the right spot. We're not out there to get money. We're just out there to literally help you guys. I would say go into some sort of ad spying software if you really want to stay in this field. It's a really hard field to get in and stay in. It's so hard, but I wouldn't deter you from it. I would say get into that, look into the copywriting other companies are using, kind of replicate that, and just start slow. It just takes a lot of work. It's never like cracking the code. It's each month you trim off $3 more on the CPL, and then sometimes it gets really good, and all of a sudden it goes skyrockets again. You're like, what did I do wrong? Also, ad fatigue. If you're running the exact same ad any longer than 3 to 5 days at a time, you need to continuously change that because the same audience sees it over and over. It's gonna make it go harder. Yeah. So,
Yes.
ad fatigue needs to be done like very quickly. But ad spy is huge, ad fatigue's big, and just a huge plethora of testing campaigns on top of it. What I can tell you is, in the meantime, I would pick a company you trust, whether it's us or anybody else. I hope it's us, obviously. But I would try with us because, to be quite honest with you, the only way it would be worth it for me now, if I had to do it again today and start over from scratch, I didn't know anything again, I wouldn't. The field is so saturated with marketers. To be able to get in and shine is so hard.
I feel it.
I would just get really good in one thing. And if you're really good in the field with clients, just find a really good company to work with, and you do what you do really good, better than anybody else. And then let that company do them as good as they do, better than anybody else. And then you'll just rock it from there forward. You just build a huge brand underneath you, write a good contract with the company. Again, hopefully it's us, but I just want to show you that we really care about you and not about the money. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, go with.
And
But
you're talking about I'm speaking your language, because you are right. Everyone bullshit, you know. So
Thanks, appreciate it.
I understand. So I mean, if your conversions are there, you know, I'd rather do something with you guys, because it's a full-time job. I only want one as an agent on the field. I don't want to be a marketer. So I'm already spending a lot of money to
Agreed.
generate my own leads, you know.
Yeah.
And I
And we
just
can
hire
help.
one agent. I'm recruiting. I don't really need to get another part-time and generate leads for these agents. To be honest, that's just kind of where I'm at.
And we can even help you guys with recruiting as well. We developed CRM patterns that we can build your CRM out to help you with recruiting, training, automation. Like literally, we can hold your hand and walk you through the process for those things as well. Like we were able to recruit a year ago. And we have a question here. One question. I'll get to you in a second here. So a year ago, we were able to create and replicate a recruiting pattern for licensed agents to get licensed. And we were able to recruit, I think it was like 75 agents in 28 days. And that was almost fully automated, just short of making the phone call to walk them through their process. But that was, we can even automate the last part now. So I'm not saying they all did good and stayed in there and produced really well.
Right.
Obviously, you guys know the metrics for that are low.
Right.
But it's nice to have it automated, running, pulling people in while you're doing your job too. Because the idea is to kind of get you out of the field and get them doing your work for you, if that's what your company promotes.
Okay. Okay.
So I have a question from
answered all my
Lad
questions.
Cleveland. Do you run leads in all of state or narrow by city or county? Okay, so we can segregate literally what you want. So the difference between us and other marketing companies is marketing companies pay what's called white labelers to produce their leads, and because they can't produce them themselves, there's a middleman there. So there's an upcharge. So they generally try to sell them in counties or states. Because they don't know how to get them any cheaper, because they can't produce them themselves. They say they do, but they don't tell the truth. In addition to that, they don't know how to produce them cheap enough to even do that. And the leads they do buy, a lot of times are like 2-3 weeks old. They're telling you they're new. So that's why sometimes you'll call them and say, well, I've had 4 agents call me this week, because they're paying a white labeler or a farmer to produce leads at a nonstop rate, just constantly. And then anytime someone asks them in that area, they just sell them leads that are like 2 weeks old, a week old. Ours are literally live. Like when our leads come in, if someone fills out our form at 5:02 p.m., you're getting it at 5:02 p.m. So you literally need to call these leads within 5 minutes to have the best appointment ratio. 100% need to call within 5 minutes or under. Literally, I would recommend immediately. Ours are live, and you'll get that through a CRM notification, text message, and email. So there's no way you can miss it. But anyways, as far as your question goes, because we generate our own leads, Glad we can do them anywhere. I could geofence your neighborhood if you wanted me to. Now, the CPL would go up, and that means cost per lead, because there's not enough people in your neighborhood, obviously, looking for annuities. But we try to at least go city, at the very minimum, if you have enough population. If you don't, what we'll do is we'll keep increasing that radius, a circle radius, about 1 mile at a time, until our system says, okay, we have enough people we think we can advertise to make it right. We'll try to run a campaign at that rate again. If it shuts off and says, okay, nope, we need more people, it'll grow again. But it's little by little. We're not going to send you, 4 hours away or nothing like that. You just give us the counties and we'll tell you how it's looking. So we can do it as tight as you want, or zip codes or whatever you prefer. Is there any other questions? Are you guys good to go?
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so it's 4:26, so I think we're almost out of time here. But anyways, thank you very much, Nathan and Carva. And I'll sure to pass your information to the agents. And
Sure.
anyone that have more questions for you, they can contact you directly and get the same pricing as Next Vision. So that would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, guys, I just have a couple more things here to quickly run through to you guys. Just give me a few more minutes here and then we should be done. I want to go back to that Overflow leads to see if we can see some samples there. Okay. Hopefully this time it works. All right. Okay, all right. So this time I'm just gonna do one county. So it doesn't take very long to get the count. Let's go back to Pennsylvania here. Let's just do a few counties. I want to see what the pricing is for the overflow leads in. Okay, so in Pennsylvania, it's $20.35. So a little bit more than Minnesota, but again, each state's going to be different. It's going to vary. So from $17 to about $34, $35, depending on your state. Okay, so if you like access to this Lead Max or the Overflow direct mail leads, let me know, and I can send you access to the website. One last thing here before I let you guys go. We also have Google Leads. These are the cheapest lead type. They cost around $10 to $11 each. But also their closing ratio would not be as high as the telemarketing leads. I've heard from agents that they're closing about 10 to 20% closing ratio. So they're not bad, you know, for the pricing. It's really good. Final expense Google Leads. We also have mortgage protection term life insurance leads as well. And these are all generated from Google Ads. So prospect is presented an advertisement, and they see something like this, okay? For the final expense, they see something like this: protect your family from the unexpected and get final expense life insurance coverage today. And they fill out this page out, they click continue. Then the prospect selects their desired coverage amount. Okay, they choose the coverage that they want. Then step 3, prospect provides a phone number and checks a TCPA compliant consent box permitting contact to learn more about final expense. Okay, so they go through all these, okay? So it's not something that they see an ad and then they click on it and then you receive the lead. They have to go through a few different steps and put in their contact information. Number 4, prospect provides their date of birth and phone name. Okay, as you can see there. And then number 5, prospect provides their home address. Okay, and it says to establish eligibility, you must answer all questions accurately. Okay. Number 6, the prospect provides email address. Number 7, the prospect is presented with consent language and confirms by checking the box. Okay, so they have to check the box to agree. And then number 8, the prospect provides beneficiary name and the relationship. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. And then once they submit this page, you'll receive something like this, okay? You'll receive either Excel or PDF form with the name, address, and all the information that they just fed out. So as you can see there, they went through several steps, okay? 8 different steps to enter in all the information. So there are quite filtered. There are quite filters there that will help to make the lead more quality. So again, the pricing is very cheap for these leads. These are Google leads. They're $10 or $11 each. And we have final expense, and we also have mortgage protection term life insurance lead as well. All right, guys, thank you for your time. It is 4:32, so we actually went past the hour there, but thank you for joining us today. And I will email this recording to everyone. If you have any questions on any of the lead programs, let me know. I can send you more information, okay? Thank you very much.